So welcome to the forest and to exploring your gene keys. Absolutely beautiful day, and just talking about gene key number 2, dislocation, orientation, unity. Just thinking about dislocation as I walk through the forest this morning. And we can think about dislocation in many ways: physical dislocation, emotional dislocation, spiritual dislocation, mental dislocation. Sometimes we may, have ourselves an experience where we break into pieces, like the tree falling. And it can happen in any one of those areas or all at once. And it can be swift. You thought everything was fine, and then suddenly everything is dislocated. Suddenly your partner tells you they want a divorce and you weren't expecting it, for example. So many things can really give us a sense of dislocation in our life. And the question is, how do we, once we've experienced that, are experiencing it, or at some point when we do, be able to be with it and work with a new sense of unity. It's hard. This journey of exploring oneself through the lens of the gene keys, we come to realize that it's hard. Not hard as in can't do it, but it takes a lot of determination to look at things as differently as we can through the lens of the shadow, the gift, and the siddhi. So almost in this case, from dislocation, moving through the unification, how do we really stabilize and reunify everything? And sometimes we have to take physical action to come back into unity with ourselves. Perhaps we've been unwell and we need to yoke ourselves, as in yoga, the yoking, to health, to healthy activities, decisions that we make in our life day to day, to bring us into a more unified sense of wholeness and health again. Perhaps it's our mind. We've been overworking the mind, and the mind is extremely fatigued and feeling dislocated from a sense of connection to nature, to Gaia, to earth, to the spiritual aspects of life, the more natural aspects of life. And I myself have been there many times, where I've been working very hard on mental aspects of work and life, and come to realize that I'm very dislocated and feeling a sense of massive separation from the forest, from Gaia, from the sounds of nature around me. So I come back in to embed and unify. So again, the gene keys, exploring your gene keys, is really about coming into this fundamental understanding of who you are as an energy blueprint as you live life here on earth. And we can use these keys to really guide us, even if it's not in our profile, into an understanding of, even if I've not got a 2, gene key 2 in my profile, there will be times where I experience dislocation. Like I have had times where, just like this tree trunk, my whole life has been severed, completely severed. You know, very strong things, divorce, being one. It's a massive severing, and all component parts of what was the trunk of your life disappear until you can reform a new trunk, creating unity again in the life, the new life that you generate from the old. Now, if this happens, this dislocation could be anything, you know, that causes that sense of cut and loss. You know, even going from being into being a mother, you know, you now, or a father, you are now two, not just one, and there are two of you. And although that's, you know, it's wonderful to become a parent, your old life of being a single person has gone. And we have to constantly remodel and use yoga, this unification process, this yoking to things that mean things to us, that we then recreate and regrow. So what soil do you need? And do you need a shady environment or a wide open, bright environment? Do you need to be in lots of trees? Do you need to be a tree that's standing on its own, big, tall, strong and mighty? We all have these different ways of rebuilding from dislocated states into unified states. And the gene keys really help us understand our immediate process that we can use as a pathway through thick, dense forest, jungles in the mind, where we could collapse with such levels of dislocation in our life, you know, have breakdowns. And when we don't know this interior pathway through what appears like chaos in the exterior all around us, we can also kind of collapse into the chaos and not find ourselves in a position to be able to calmly rebuild a strong trunk of life force in our life. So I don't have Gene Key 2 in my profile, but the understanding of what dislocating events in my life have generated in me has been a lot over the years. And if I had known more about my profile, the Gene Key profile that I hologenetically am here embodying, the restructuring of the new would have been more gentle, I feel, more of an adventure and more expansive, rather than the fear of what was happening that felt so dislocating to me. So just think about that within your own story, your own timeline. If you've had dislocation or you're facing dislocation, whether through your own inner decisions that you're making, wanting to make, or that have been made upon you, how can you come back to unification and recreate anew with all the wisdom from the old in a way that is gentle? You know, we're going to take a gentle meander through the chaos, calmly sit and contemplate this dislocation, whatever it may be, and come to some deep, deep inner realizations of how to navigate it, to reunify our energy energy so that we feel frequentially stable again, whole and settled, yet obviously tentative, like tendrils of seaweed washing in the waves, exploring each new wave that rolls into our life, forming anew from the old. And in this way, we remain more stable, more clear, more open, and we have less chance of falling into severe and total dislocation, which some of you listening may have experienced already, or be in, or be coming out of. And I'm talking about, like a severe breakdown, a severe burnout, dislocation from your normal self of health and well-being. It's important to remember we can always regrow our entire life. We can always regenerate, and we can always settle into very powerful contemplations about what is happening in the moment and how to gather the gift and the siddhi and energize them in our life, in our hologenetic sphere of experience. And this is the gift. When you explore your gene keys, your unique gene keys have multidimensional abilities to guide you on a path that is loving and gentle and full of kindness and compassion to yourself, which then, as you feel and embody that, others feel that from you too. And instead of experiencing this massive dislocation on earth between human beings that we currently experience, as we work on unifying within ourselves and understanding this process, we come to realize that we are all one, that this unification is unity in diversity. Look at the forest floor, it's so diverse. All the trees, each being knocked down by the wind, uprooted, each able to regenerate. The incredible power of the bluebells coming up every season in May in England. This is our metaphor for our own life, really. We have massive upheaval and dislocation. We can still regenerate, we can still move and create new ways of being, living, and choosing the long-term view of this is life. And in that, finding that sense of calmness and readiness to explore and expand into the superabundance of new potential, even if it feels extremely hard in the moment, even if by exploring your gene keys, particularly this key number 2, gene key number 2, in the dislocation, you're retrospectively looking at things that have happened with a new lens. And it's these new lenses that the gene keys give us as we go deeper and deeper into understanding our psychology, our hologenetic blueprint and profile. So take time, as soon as you can, to just contemplate dislocation in your life. It doesn't have to cause panic or fear. It can bring a deeper awareness to how you did manage to unify your life, how you did regrow, how you did manage to diversify. And even in the times where the dislocation was so severe and it was deeply challenging, and perhaps the unification is still arising for you, still waiting for that process of regrowth and that new pathway unfolding. Just trust that it does, and trust that anything that dislocates and breaks away is happening for you, for a deeper experience to emerge, for more inner strength and more long-term stability and juiciness of life to come flowing through. So even if it can feel a little bit like this, a little bit like this, we will always be able to regrow, regenerate, expand, and reach for unification in ourselves and with others. And each time we diversify, we grow, we get stronger, and we can share our wisdom of how we did that with others who may need our help. So I hope this serves you, and I hope this forest walk and talk on Gene Key number 2 has come into a space in your body, mind, in the heart, where you can perhaps reflect, contemplate within your own life experience the potential that unfolds when we are faced with or experiencing dislocation. Unity in diversity. I will see you soon. Take care. Much love.